Alright, so got the game one for the, well, match one for the Group V group for Central versus Squirtle Squad. You got me, Larry GT versus Aaron, Aaron Drago, obviously. And yeah, I mean, go ahead and get started. I brought this really cool team I just like randomly made, and I got Rillaboom, Heatran, Mandibuzz, Rotom Wash, Zam, Lando T, and Aaron brought Volk, Blissey, Slowking Galar, Victini, Zapdos, and Lando. I mean, before anything, this is a re-recording because the original audio was like really like low and messed up. So sorry about that. And just for anything, the two groups participating, the links are in the description, and also make sure to drop a like, subscribe. I mean, this will hopefully do better than the original since it's recorded a lot better. But let's go ahead and start. Okay, so I led Rotom Wash and he led Volcanion, and I clicked Volt Switch because, I mean, obviously he's going to switch out. And I go into, I believe, Lando T, and I mean, again, I knew the switch out was coming, so I clicked U-turn again to kind of just gain momentum and like just that chip damage off. But he's Rocky Helmet, so I end up taking a little chip damage myself. And I go back to Rotom Wash. He goes back to Slowking Galar, and I Volt Switch again. But it's like, I'm kind of at the time now where I need to start making like aggressive plays. So I go Mandibuzz here. He goes Zapdos, and I U-turn again. Fortunately, I don't get the para. And I go Heatran, since Heatran's is like one of the best switch-ins for a dose. And he goes into his own Volcanion. And I mean, free rocks. And since he's got Volcanion in, my switch-in after that was back to Rotom Wash. And he missed the Steam Eruption, fortunately. And I click Volt Switch here, I believe. And I go for a Wisp and I miss it. So I mean, trying to get chip damage in that Slowking was definitely what I needed. And I go Heatran. I mean, I assume Heatran's like one of the best switch-ins, since I mean it deals with both its stabs. And then he kind of catches me off guard, and I taunt it so it can't teleport out. And he hits me for Earthquake, which takes out like 58%, which I was not expecting at all. So I kind of got blown back by that. And I go Mandy, and he clicks Sludge Bomb, predicting me to switch out. And he goes Zapdos. And I mean, I get the full para, unfortunately, which sucks. Well, I mean, I just get paralyzed in general. And I go back to Heatran, since I mean, that's a switch in there. And he gets a defog off because, I mean, obviously I was going to switch out. Gets a Volt Switch off, and I mean, free rocks again for me. And he goes Volcanion, and I'm pretty sure I go right back to my Rotom Wash, since Rotom pretty much just like sponges a bunch of attacks. I'm not sure what body press is meant to hit, but I mean, it doesn't really do enough to Rotom. And I Volt Switch here. And judging from the damage, the Slowking is definitely Assault Vest, but he looks to be a more bulky build because that Psyshock did nothing. Like, I was completely expecting it to 2-hit KO. And he goes Zapdos, I go Rotom. I missed that Wisp. And, I mean, easy defog for him right here. And I expected his Zapdos to be faster. So that kind of like caught me off guard a bit. So he goes Lando, I go Lando T, soak up the Volt Switch. And I hard switch into Rotom Wash, expecting him to go into his own Lando. And right now I'm just like basically, I can click Wisp to try and catch something. He goes Blissey. I expected him to go into Slowking, since that's been his switch like the entire game. And I click Volt Switch here, go into my Rillaboom, and this is where I kind of make a bad read right here. So he goes Zapdos, and I do a Wood Hammer when honestly I probably should have just clicked Knockoff, because Knockoff would have got rid of the heavy duty boots and just like made it to where Zapdos is really wary of switching into rocks. And I go Heatran here when probably shouldn't have done that either, because Heatran would die to a discharge if he had it. But I survived the Volt Switch, and I mean I get free rocks up right here, and he goes Volcanion, and Heatran's pretty much at a really dangerous level where he's not really meant to switch into anything at this point. And he goes Steamy Eruption on my Rotom. Unfortunately, I get burned, and since I'm Levitate, I'm not touching the ground to get the grassy terrain boost. Goes back into Slowking Galar, and I Pain Split there, which I probably should just Volt Switched just to maintain things. And I Volt Switch there on the Blissey, and I go into Rillaboom. I mean, I'm paired, but I mean, I was kind of hoping that, I mean, I might not have actually had Knockoff on this Rillaboom. I'd have to look. And I double into my Lando expecting the Zapdos to come out. But either way, I mean, clicking, what is it? Knockoff would have been more beneficial. So I killed the Zapdos with Stone Edge, which was lucky. He hits me with a Sludge Bomb and gets the crit. But I mean, at that range, I mean, I'm not really too worried about the Slowking. And he goes for Sludge Bomb again, and that does nothing. And he goes Lando T here. I U-turn. Unfortunately, catch some Rocky Helmet damage. And I go Rotom Wash here. And I'm really not too worried about the Lando T. And Slowking comes in. I go for Pain Split to try to get some recovery again. And I go Wisp, and I finally get some residual damage off on Slowking. He goes Sludge Bomb, takes out 33%. I recover a little bit, catch the burn damage. And I Volt Switched, and I finally get this thing in yellow, even though, I mean, it has Regenerator, so it doesn't really matter too much. He goes Sludge Bomb again. And at this point, I mean, I have to get a Roost up with Mandibuzz. So he goes Lando here, right here. I Roost. And he goes Lando T. I mean, I pretty much had to switch off into my own Lando T. And he Rock Polishes. And judging from the fact that I still outsped, I mean, I'm Scarf, but I think that, I'm pretty sure that like he's a more bulky variant running Double Dance. Like, looks like he's defensive Lando and just had like build and just had the Rock Polish and what was the other thing, Swords Dance there. So I go into Mandy, use a Sludge Bomb again, but I mean, it's basically, I can get a free Roost, but at the same time I believe I went for Roost there. Or Foul Blade, yeah. And I did nothing to Blissey since, I mean, it has, like, no attack. He goes for a Wish. I get a full Para here. And he goes into his Volcanion. I get a Foul Play off, doesn't really do enough damage, and he gets the Wish onto the Volcanion. Steam Eruption does a solid 34%, but I mean, I basically can end up coming out on top in terms of HP as long as I don't get full paired. So I'm roosting up, trying to get myself in a comfortable range to where I can switch out or defog. So I get a defog off, and that's all that stuff's gone, which is good. Gets a steam eruption off, and I need a roost here. And I basically just need, I really just, right there, I was going to click U-turn, but I mean, I got the para. He flamethrowers there. I click roost, I recover. And if you notice, it's like, every time I'm right in that range where I need to click U-turn, I get full paired. So this kind of happens a few more times there. So I get a roost off here. And he gets the flamethrower off on me. I get a full para again. Flamethrower. He gets the roost off. Flamethrower again, and I click U-turn here and full pair. I was so upset when this was happening. And like I said, when I want to roost, well, I didn't get the roost there. And he actually switches out. I think he was assuming I would because of that range, but his best opportunity was probably just to keep clicking buttons against me. And he gets rocks up. I finally get another roost off. You see Arcanine in the background with the triple para. He gets the seismic toss off, which I mean doesn't do really anything. I get a defog going. And I mean, free rocks again for him. I click U-turn. I'm kind of comfortably out of range, but I mean, I'm kind of scared to take any more residual damage. And I go Rotom, and right here I was kind of expecting him to maybe stay in, and I'd click Pain Split and just exactly take all that health back. He goes for Seismic Toss, and right here is where I should have clicked a Volt Switch. I think I might have. Yeah, I click Volt Switch. And I go back into Mana Buzz just because, I mean, I know I can recover some health against this thing. And he goes Victini, and I predicted that, and no, I didn't predict it. I thought I did. So I roosted here, and because I knew I could take any one attack, I clicked Foul Play here to really do a good chunk of damage to the Victini. Did solid 83%, and I switch out into Heatran. At this point, I just was letting Heatran die, when really I probably should have let Rillaboom die. That way I can kind of try to get rocks back in later. And Rillaboom comes out. Slowking Galar, because I mean, I can't really do anything. I probably, again, I don't think, I might not have had knockoff on this one. If I'm not using it. Yeah, I might not have. Because, I mean, knockoff would have been clutch against the Zapdos and against this thing. Just to kind of spam. Rotom catches the Sludge Bomb. And right here, I should have clicked Volt Switch. And instead of Pain Split, because that really did nothing, because Victini comes in basically for free. So he kind of caught on to like my habits of like clicking that button, predicting the Blissey, and V-Create just kills Rotom. And I go Zam here. He goes Slowking Galar, and like I said, I mean, it avoids a 2-hit KO. I probably should have been carrying Shadow Ball on the Zam, and I believe that would have 2-hit KO Slowking. I mean, it hits pretty much everything anyways, because I was running Dazzling Gleam as the third move. The third attack, to be specific. So, Mandibuzz comes back out, and he goes Victini here, and I get the full pair, and I actually did click Foul Play there, expecting him to do that aggressive play again. And Victini can just, like, pretty much tee off on my team. So he goes for V-Create. And I believe I go into my Zam here. He goes Slowking Galar, and again, it's going to be hard for me to push past him, so I Nasty Plot it just to try to get off some kind of damage, because I know that Sludge Bomb will 2-hit KO me. But, I mean, I was ready to just risk it all here. But unfortunately, because Victini's Scarf, even if I get rid of Slowking or anything, Victini again comes in for free. So Lando's gone, which means he didn't even have to sack that if he didn't want to. and he actually goes into Volcanion, and I click Focus Blast here. I really can't remember why I even did that. I should have went Side Shock because I found out later, I mean, after thinking about it, this Volcanion is AV. And I mean, I lose Mandibuzz to the Flamethrower here. And Lando T comes in and just dies to the rocks. So yeah, that was game 1. And here's the game 2. And I brought Tapu Fini, Hippo, Zapdos, Melmetal, Cinderace, and Spectre. And Arun brought Zapdos, Galar, Moltres, Lando T, Blissey, Volcanion, and Latias. Okay, so I lead Cinderace and he leads Volcanion. I click U-turn, I mean, just to get some switch advantage. And I lose a little HP because of, I mean, Volt Switch or whatever. I go Zapdos. I take a lot of damage from that Steam Eruption. My switching honestly should have probably been Tapu Fini. That way I can kind of like pivot around and stuff and waste his steam engines, but I still would have to worry about him potentially being Sludge Bomb. So he goes for Rock Polish just like turn 3, and I mean Hippo can't really do anything except for Toxicate. So I get a Toxic off. I mean, I'm just trying to whittle it down a little bit, but I mean Double Dance Lando T really puts a lot of pressure on this team, and I go into Zapdos here. And he Stone Edges when honestly I should have just pivoted back into Hippo just to try to wear it down. Me staying in was just a huge mistake on my part. He goes Hippo, hits me with an EQ, and I slack off here just to try and regain some health, because that's what I mean earlier, like I could have pivoted around. Because now his Zapdos, I mean his Lando's forced to go out. I slack off again, get to full health. Volcanion comes in again, and this is the thing I should have done turn like 1. Going to Tapu Fini, because I mean solid 23% left. I recover back to 83, and I could have, like I said, played around a bit. I taunt here because I mean honestly I don't have a switch in. He goes for Sludge Bomb, which does 55, and I mean I just kind of, I can't touch Volcanion at all with Tapu Fini. And he goes for Sludge Bomb and just like wipes me away. And like, see, you don't really see Volcanion too often. I go Spect here, and I Calm Mind. Steam Eruption does a solid 45%. Luckily I didn't get burned. And I'm pretty sure I click Hex, but I mean he was AV still, so I mean it didn't really do anything. If I was like Spec Shadow Ball, maybe I would have got a 3-hit KO. But I mean, without the Calm Mind, I would have taken so much damage. And Spectear is gone. And I go Cinderace here. So I mean, I need to just get some damage off. He goes Lando T. I click U-turn. I really wasn't I really could have clicked any other button, but I mean I didn't really have much of a choice. And I go Melmetal here just to kind of, I wanted to try to bait out an EQ, and I go back into Hippo. Because the thing is, like, if you look at his team, if I would have just gotten rid of Volcanion, Hippo just really puts in a lot of work. So he goes Zapdos here. I get off a Toxic, and he gets some recovery due to Lumberry. He goes for a Thunderous Kick, and I didn't notice that it crit me. Because when it did that, I was like, okay, it's over. And that's why I just went for Toxic there, instead of like Slack Off. But I mean, either way, I'd still put him on a timer, and I survived that, which will like surprise me. So I Slack Off here, knowing that I can take at least one more hit, I believe. And Slack Off again, and then Zapdos would die due to Sandstorm, Toxic, and the Rocky Helmet. But I'm stuck in that position now where like I basically have to switch out. And Zapdos is gone. He goes Blissey here. He goes for a Wish, and I should have clicked Stealth Rocks instead of slacking off, because Blissey can't touch me. And that was another mistake I made, because it would have forced in his Moltres, and then I go for a Toxic on the Moltres and just whittle that down. And also Lando T wouldn't have been able to recover any health. Because I mean, Hippo, like I said before, Hippo puts in work on his team. He would have, like I said, he would have been able to get a defog off, but it really, having rocks up cripples his team so much. So like I said, that was a big mistake on my part. Because like I said before, I didn't really need to click slack off. Yeah, I mean, having a full health Hippo is definitely great, but I would have lured in the Moltres to be able to not have to worry about anything. He goes Blissey here. I switch out when, like, again, I should have just clicked gotten rocks up. I was a little too, I don't know what I was thinking by not getting rocks up when I should have. And I go for Thunder Punch here, expecting him to go Moltres. And again, this is why I should have left Hippo in. Hippo, if I would have played it right, literally could have won me the game. And again, I was expecting him to switch out. And now he finally goes Moltres when I click double Iron Bash. Luckily, I didn't get burned this first time around, but definitely he played me. Definitely played me a bit. And now I go Hippo, which, I mean, a couple turns too late. Because like you see, 32%, I mean, I handle Moltres pretty well. And now I finally get up rocks when I should have done that a long time ago. And I go middle here. I had 9 slack offs left. Honestly, I should have stayed in. Yeah, I should have left my Hippo in. And I get burned. Because I'd be able to Toxic the Blissey and kind of like whittle that down with EQs and stuff. And just slack off and like just getting a lot of damage off on it. And then now when I try to switch in, that was another bad play, because now, I mean, Flamethrower kills me here. And I mean, pretty much it's GG at this point, because Cindery's, I mean, it's Life Orb, so it gets 1 hit off. And then my middle is just pretty much burned. And yeah, it's pretty much GG there. I definitely made some bad mistakes here that literally cost me the game, and that's why hazards are so important, because it would have definitely put a lot more pressure on him and easily won me the game. Well, not easily, but I mean, he could still make some great plays. I mean, he's a good player and stuff like that, but definitely the mistakes I made hurt me a lot. But yeah, that was game 1. The squad is up 2-0, and as always, I mean, make sure to join the 2 groups involved and drop a like, subscribe, all that other fun stuff.